Good afternoon. This is Josh Jones for my final presentation for 7.2 for IT 210. Um, I have to admit, I kind of struggle with this one a lot. I've been working on it over the last week or so, off and on, and in the last 3 or 4 days, a lot to try to narrow things down and get things to work. And I ran into a lot of problems with trying to get the names done because there was multiple Brians, and so I had to figure out how to get multiple Brians on there from different groups and different things. So what I ended up doing, and it might not match my script, but what I ended up doing, I think I did change my script to match it though. What I ended up doing is doing first initial last name. That way it broke it up to where you could do kind of anybody you wanted to do as long as it didn't have the first initial and last name was the same. And that fixed that problem. Um, but as we go through here, I'm going to kind of walk you through it. And I apologize that I'm not showing you how to do this because I'm trying to run out the door um, to go camping with my family. And I have to apologize our last 3 or 4 days. Um, my father-in-law's been in the ICU, and I know it has nothing to do with any of this, but I just want people to understand that I'm kind of struggling right now. Just let me give you this presentation. Okay, so let's pull this up here. So the first thing you want to know is the server type and purpose. This is what I had, so that you can see where all my stuff is. I guess first of all, I should back up and show you this. This is what I created as my final project, EC2, and I started it from scratch for this project. To be able to do all the things that you've asked us to do, or things I said I was going to do. So here's all of that, so you can see that. And so then as we walk through this, I did have to make some minor changes. It does say 300 gigs here. For the purpose of the assignment, I made it 100 gigs because that's what it would allow me to do. So that's what I did as my um, size for this and trying to spread it out. So there's that. So you can kind of see, I'll go slower if I can, which I think I can. So about that, I'll jump back to the bottom. So there's all that. You can see how I created it, how big it was, different things that go into it, the files that were in it. You can see how it's all kind of broken down and broken out, and um, there's my 100 gigs right there. So you can see that. And then this is all the partitions and all the different things that um, separate everything out. So as we scroll further down here, the next thing that you wanted to know, so you can kind of see how this kind of plays out. So there's all that. Next would be the disk partitions. Actually, here's those list of all the different services that I had to load while doing this project. So you can kind of see what some of those are to kind of make it all function, and what's running and what's not running. I had to load a lot of software on here to get everything to kind of balance as I was doing this. But you can see all of that. You can see that the SSH was configured. Um, Different ports that was using, different things to where it goes through. So there's all that. The SSH configuration. Like I said, the port that it runs on, the different stuff, who's listening. different things like that for the security aspect of it. So there's all of those things. I mean, I'll freely admit a lot of this I don't know. I've had to do a lot of research to figure out how to make it kind of work together, and how to make it run. Again, there's all the different partitions and different things like that that show kind of where it's spread apart. This actually breaks down even more to where you can see physical size and that kind of stuff for each um, section that's there. Um, so there's all that. There's all my users, the different, should say different groups that you can see who belongs to what group, their name, and this is their home address. So you can see what all that is. I spent a lot of time putting names in and connecting them to different things, giving them different groups and um, different aspects to what they can and cannot do. So there's all that, the permissions and different things that go with it. You can see where my shared files are, and there's that. It also tells you the read write permissions for all of it. As you kind of go through. One of the aspects of mine is you want to talk about Shoemaker, and she's the top person, and she had to have read access only. I believe is what it was. Let's take a look here. So again, work systems, partitions, different things like that. Um, Again, users groups, different things to go with that. Again, shared file and permissions, who can do what, who owns the folders, that kind of things. Um, It's fast here. Um, so again, it took me a minute to kind of figure out how to show you all this stuff again because I had to figure out um, how it was in the system and how I had put it in there. But there's all that. This is your security. Like here. The UFW I know is the security aspect of it. That took me a little bit of time to kind of make sure who could get in, who couldn't, how they got in, different things like that. So there's all those things. This is the log. So you can see the different stuff that goes with the log I had to create for this project. So there's all those things. Ownership IDs, different things like that. Um, how it's run. You did want to see message of the day, and I don't know. Let's see if I can show you what that is. I'll log out and log back in. That way you can kind of see what that is. Uh, let's see here. So let's log back in here really quick here. Show you where all that stuff is. So you can see there's my message of the day, right here, so that you do know that was installed. I think what else you need to know. I believe that was it. Like I said, it was a lot of work, but it was a lot of fun. I do like the challenge, and I like being able to be challenged, because then I have to sit there and do a lot of research to try to figure out how to fix the problem. And I know on some of the things it took 3 or 4 times before I finally got it to work. Um, the names, especially, like I was telling you, those names. Um, I had all of them done, or most of them done, when I figured out that I had a problem. So I had to go through and I had to delete all those users, and I had to rename everybody and reinstall them. So I took about another hour or two, I think, before I got done with that. From writing it in there, messing it up, and rewriting it was about a couple hours, 2 or 3 hours to fix that mistake. So I do know that sometimes things take a little bit of time to finish. Um, but there's that. And thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.